Hi everyone, I'm super excited to host Alena and Carly, co-founders of Hardline, to be on the show. How are you
Hey,
guys doing?
we're doing great. We're excited to chat and catch up. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. Looking forward to this interview. So, for people who are listening to this about Hardline and getting to know about the founders for the first time, can you take us back to your college days till this date? What would be your individual career highlights?
Good question. I started off not in the construction industry. So when I was in college, I studied finance and thought that I was going to be in wealth management for my whole life. So I ended up working at an asset manager and then found that was super boring and wasn't going to get me what I wanted, which was like excitement and creativity out of a job. So I ended up moving into tech.
And my college experience was initially wanting and thinking I was going to be a pro hockey player, and then pivoting after injury and going into tech, and then going back to construction. My family owns a construction company, so I felt the pull to go back into it after shortly being in tech.
That's amazing. And what has been your biggest surprises coming from tech and understanding the construction industry? What some things you underestimated and some things you overestimated?
That's such a good question. I feel like I can take that one because of my like newness to the industry, but I think I underestimated, and I actually think that everyone does this, but underestimated the complexity of the industry. I think that that's a reason why a lot of tech platforms just don't do well or don't get the adoption that they want because most people that haven't lived that world and actually really tried to solve problems in real time, like on a job site, don't understand how truly complex it is. I remember my first time on a real commercial build, and it just like put everything into perspective.
The adoption and how easily people adopt tech, probably. It's
Like
overestimated.
Like you thought, like you think people think that no one adopts, but actually people are pretty willing.
Actually, the opposite. I think that people overestimate when you work in tech that
Oh,
people on the job site are going to adopt it, but it's not the case. It
hmm
takes time and trust to say that.
yeah, that's a good one.
And going back to day one of Hardline, like walk us through what was the atmosphere like? How were you navigating?
I was going through Procore Construction 101 modules. So I was learning about construction because I came at this like I had a couple people in my immediate network who were in the industry. And so I've watched them struggle with some of these issues. And like we've shared Carly's kind of aha moment story a couple times. Maybe we'll share that again here. But for me, I had a close friend of mine who's in the industry, and I had heard her talk about like the challenges of verbal communication working with subcontractors, and she was more in residential, but I knew that there was a problem there, and so I felt really attracted to solving that problem. But then actually like now I need to learn the industry, and so we were just kind of like rapidly sponging up information, and I would say I still am like just every day reading and learning.
I remember the actual day that we decided to go for this. We were sitting at a coffee shop, and I had gotten probably my fifth phone call from this subcontractor that I just told him, like, you gotta put this in Procore. You have to send an email, anything. And it actually was an instant that led to $150,000 of rework for us. And so that was the moment that Alena kind of had this aha moment too, to put AI in phone calls and document things that are specific to construction. I think that was that day forward, I'm pretty sure it was just like nothing else mattered in my
Yeah.
old job. We were
Yep.
kind of heads down.
Yeah, I definitely didn't like open up my work laptop that day. We just started building and like build, neither of us are technical, but like building in our own sense, like creating prototypes, setting up meetings by 3 a.m. that night. We say this a lot, but it's true. Like we set up HQ in my kitchen, and then we had a pitch deck by, 3 a.m. that night. We were ready to go.
That's so inspiring. Was that the only sleepless night, or like what has been the toughest, most stressful day?
We,
Mm,
I feel like I talk about this sometimes where there's like, it's stressful and then something happens really good and then it's not. And then we're like, things are going even better. And then it becomes almost more stressful to do really well. So I feel like the most stressful moments are different for each other because Elena owns the fundraising more so and I own sales. So I think that actually probably most of it is stressful. That's just part of being a founder.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I worked at an early stage startup before this, and we had an amazing founder that I really respect, and he was super passionate about like work-life balance and making sure people are healthy and having white space in your day because that unlocks productivity and creativity. And so I kind of went into this experience really wanting to do that and wanting to embody that culture, and feels impossible at this stage to really do that because it's kind of like becomes your whole life or it doesn't work. That might not be the case. There's maybe people out there who have done it differently, but it hasn't. We've had many sleepless nights.
Yeah. One proud moment for each of you.
I think one of the most proud moments was when we got accepted to Suffolk Boost program. We were the youngest company, and Alena had found out minutes before me from a phone call, and I was walking back to the office, and I just like teared up, and I was like, wow, this is like, it felt so validating that our idea was, valid.
Yeah, I think there's like a couple different moments that I draw on regularly. I mean, just raising venture capital felt really impossible for me, like before having tried it, just knowing the statistics and two female founders, no technical founder. It's pretty much every card stacked against us, I would think, to raise capital in construction. And so when we did close on our first like big check, that was a crazy moment because it meant that other people were seeing the same opportunity that we were seeing. Another really proud moment is just like the first time that we put the app in a user's hand. That was crazy for me. Like it's still every time that we onboard someone new, it's like my newest, proudest moment.
For a female founder who plans to do a construction tech startup, what would be the fundraising playbook you would recommend? Things you learned the hard way and would do differently now?
Honestly, I don't even know if there's really a playbook because there's so much nuance that goes into fundraising. But I think just bringing your most confident self is really important. That's not something that I sort of organically have. I'm not, I don't think either of us are the person who goes in a room and immediately wants to suck the air out of it and spend all of our time talking. And so you kind of have to embody that persona, I think, to play the VC game. To be honest, we talk about it kind of like raising venture capital is kind of like dating. There's all these like little mind games that people don't really talk about. Like, people want what they can't have, all that stuff. So I think, same playbooks apply across the board in that realm.
Stay resilient and just keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot more like finding the right fit is more than just what it looks like on paper.
Switching gears, can you give us an overview how Hardline works? What time in the project? Who should use it? Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hardline was designed for people on site, project managers as well, owners and execs. But really, we wanted to create a experience for people who are working with their hands and having to manage 100 different things to be able to dictate the job site with their voice. So how it works is they take phone calls with their subs, their project manager, or anyone really, and they don't need to write down what was said. Hardline writes it down, writes your tasks, the other person's to-dos as well. You can initially just give a hard sync to the other person, but really Hardline is designed to execute your tedious tasks like generating a daily log from your conversations or your site walk. Really just taking your voice and making your workflows executed without extra steps.
Yeah, and I think like I would encourage anyone in a construction project who spends more than 20 minutes a day doing manual data entry should be on Hardline. Anyone who takes more than 10 calls a day should be on Hardline. We kind of ran some of the stats, and like most supers do like maybe 30 to 50 phone calls a day. Every single call is carrying important data that will never make it into a system. And so we kind of bridge that gap between how field teams like to work and have worked since the beginning of time and how software needs them to work in order to collect the right data.
And for someone who wants to start using Hardline, what are the steps they need to do?
You can go to our website. You can schedule an onboarding call there. You can call us, text us. You can yell really loud, and we'd probably come find you, get you onboarded.
You can reach out on LinkedIn, but it's a very simple process. If you have a team, you're given an admin dashboard, you can issue licenses, but it's meant to really like be a 5-minute process till you can make your first call and get your first summary.
So, are they installing the iOS app on the phone and they're doing the call normally and it just works in the background, logs it.
Exactly. Yeah. No new phone numbers issued. It's meant to be invisible.
And it works for any projects, any type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It does. I think really the qualifying criteria is, do you rely on phone calls to coordinate a build? If you do, you need Hardline.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next phase of Hardline? What are you most excited about?
I'm excited for this year. We probably can't share all the things. Well, I mean, we're not going to share our roadmap, but based on what we're working on, I think we're going to be able to deliver a lot of amazing things for superintendents to reduce their seat time from like maybe 2 to 3 hours down to 10, 20 minutes a day. That's our big focus for this year.
A lot of people sometimes have objection or hesitation of using AI. How do you navigate this? Like, okay, they expect some hallucination problems or other set of challenges.
Well, Alena owns our product, so she probably has a better answer for this. But I think, especially with the construction industry, the idea of like recording a call or having AI working in the background kind of scares people. So we've given the feature that no one's voice is ever being documented. So audio is not discoverable. And the AI is meant to document only construction specific information. So if you talk about how much you hate a client, it doesn't pick it up. So we've made our AI to be smart enough to discard the information that they don't want.
Yeah, I think like a big differentiator of what we do is we're not actually recording any phone calls. And so we want ultimately the end user to feel trust and privacy when it comes to using Hardline. And I think that's like always a big concern with using AI in general, because it's like at the end of this string of APIs, like who's the big bad guy who's collecting all my data? And we protect the customer data from large language models, and so we have our own sort of proprietary system that has privacy and trust sort of at the cornerstone.
And what has been like your journey of go to market, finding customers? Because it could be challenging to reach out to the right persona in construction.
Well, at the beginning, we reached out to everyone. Like I think I probably DM'd like 250 people on LinkedIn a week. We just called anyone in the industry, and I think from that we identified who were the most like high value customers for our phase right now. And at this point, honestly, we just have a lot of inbounds. So a lot of people will come to our website and reach out to us because they hear from a friend or they know someone that's using it. So that's, I mean, it's a privilege to have that, but that's been working for us.
And also, like, my family back home has a pretty big network. So they were like day zero on the app. So I'm very grateful that
Sending.
they were down to be guinea pigs.
Yeah, we've also just like pulled up to job sites. Our office is in downtown, like right in the main part of Santa Monica, and there's like 10 different mixed use buildings going up around us. And so, you might see one of us just pull up with coffee one day. We've done that quite a bit.
Amazing. Yeah, like we hear a lot of stories in Silicon Valley getting to the office with donuts and some other creative. We don't hear often such stories in construction.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think like it's funny because we know like the stats I shared earlier, like a super has 50 phone calls, however many texts, and then hundreds of emails. Anyone who knows that is not going to rely on an outbound email sequence to someone in construction to get their attention. That's not how it's going to work. So yeah, you just have to show up, make yourself known.
And what channel, like for the superintendent and other personas, doesn't work? Like sometimes people think cold calling might work or email might work.
I think that oftentimes a cold call is the most natural for people in this industry, as far as like they're going to pick that up. They're not going to check their emails. But at the same time, they're working. They're not going to necessarily always pick up. So I think like being in person with as many people as you can is going to be always the top way we create connection. And I think in this industry, having good relationships is pretty much like your moat at this point, because anyone can build an app. But if you don't have really good connections and a network, then
That's something that Suffolk really helped with too. Like I think the peer-to-peer sale and construction, like when you can hit that sort of network effect or viral loop, that's when things really take off in this industry, because if you get something from a subcontractor that says, hey, this is how we work now, chances are, to get that bid or get that job, you're going to adopt that tech.
Yeah.
How can audience listening can support you in your mission?
That's a great question.
I find so much value in talking with people who are also founders in the industry, because everyone has an insight that's worked for them, and it's such a fragmented industry and there's so many nuances. So if you can learn from someone, like we've connected with Pegbo, for example, and they sell to subcontractors and people who sell into different industries or segments, I think getting to just hop on a call and exchange notes, I think that is the most valuable.
Yeah, and people trying it. Like, we are obviously addicted to feedback. So the more folks that use Hardline, the better it gets. And so for anyone who's in the industry who might be interested in reducing their seat time or streamlining some of their really, really tedious data entry workflows, reach out.
Looking back, is there anything you wish you would have done differently if you were to start Hardline today?
We talk about this.
Yeah. Yes. I actually think we could do a whole podcast on that. To be honest, there really is no right way, I'm convinced, to do this, because mistakes and rapid redirection is, I think, the plug for a good company. Definitely lots of mistakes, but also very happy for a lot of the mistakes that we made, because it helped redirect kind of what our path and our North Star is.
We're going to do a rapid fire. You have less than 5 seconds to answer, and you got to keep it super brief. This is going to be the most difficult part of the interview. Who's your role model?
You said this last time.
Yeah, in terms of a founder, like the founder of Slack, but honestly, like my parents.
Yeah, my dad.
Your favorite restaurant?
Dudley Market in Venice, California.
Probably Laurel Hardware in LA.
Favorite movie?
Why am I blanking on the name? Thelma and Louise.
I don't have one at the moment.
Not a big movie.
Yeah,
consumer.
it's tough for me.
A city or country which is in your travel bucket list?
Tokyo.
Morocco.
3 words you have to describe each other.
Never not working is you.
Okay. I would say reliable and positive.
Yeah, that was better than mine, but I actually kept the 5-second things.
A book which made a big impact in your life.
The Alchemist.
Outliers, for sure.
An advice you would give to your 18-year-old self.
Go for it. Like, do the thing you want to do instead of the thing that you think you should do.
Play more than one sport.
Yeah, you could be pro at multiple things at this
I
point,
just
given
played
your work
one
ethic.
sport, so.
Hilarious.
If you were to teach a course at a university, what topic would you teach?
I would like to learn/teach philosophy or political science.
I would like to also learn/teach health insurance in America.
Very topical.
I'm Canadian, so I'm just learning it,
Anything which we didn't cover in this interview and you'd like to end on that message on a closing note?
I think we just need to do this again once we have some of our big releases out. We have a couple things coming in the next quarter, and so would love to circle back and dig in more.
Definitely we'll have some demo and promos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It was incredible hosting you guys. You have such an inspiring journey and great product. Wishing you all the luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's so good to chat. We'll see you next time.